All right.
All right. Joining me now, we have Stefan and Gabriel of City Saints. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to talk to you again. We were just discussing this. I think it's been about, 2.5 years since Punk and Roll came out anyway. And that was the last time we talked. And now we're going to talk about the new album.
Yeah.
Explosive.
The Explosive, yes.
It's explosive in English. So yeah, let's talk about that one.
Right. I love words like that where I already know, there's some titles on the album of some of the tracks. I have no idea what they're going to talk about unless I get it translated for me. But Explosive, I think I figured that one out okay.
Yeah, it's very similar. So it's easy peasy. Yeah.
Right. This is the second all Swedish album that you guys have done, right?
The third.
All Swedish. Oh, is it all third? Excellent. That's awesome.
The first one we did was På Svenska.
Right.
And then we did Punk and Roll, which LP number 2 was all in Swedish. That was a double album.
Yeah.
And so Punk and Roll was both English and Swedish.
It's quite of a gray line there. It was English and Swedish. So this is our second just Swedish album.
Yeah.
You might say. Yeah.
Right. That's what I was thinking. But as soon as you said that, the double album, like, I knew that.
Yeah.
So what's in the plans for going forward? Like, I guess I'll rewind that question. When you choose to, your first albums, your first, not every song, but first albums generally were more English. And then you went with På Svenska, then half of Punk and Roll, and now Explosive in Swedish. Is there a determiner, or is there something specific that gets you guys to decide, hey, let's do an album all in one language or the other?
The next one will surely be in English, because we think we have to do a pause in the Swedish album. So we are definitely doing the next one in English, and maybe the one after that, we don't know, but the next one will surely be in English.
Yeah. And we think that when we do albums in Swedish, we can elaborate with the sound a bit also. I think when you listen to maybe a English record or a Swedish record, you can hear differences. Or I'm asking you, do you hear differences in the music when you hear a Swedish or English? Or do you think it's...
For me, I guess it's harder to tell, right? Because if I understood Swedish, I'd less be focusing on the vocals and maybe more on the music, right? I'm hearing the music almost as background, not really as background, but I'm picking up certain things and then singing along, because you guys have very sing-along music, the way that you arranged it. And so even though I don't know what I'm singing, I tend to start singing along, though I'm sure if the music wasn't there and your vocals weren't there, as and me being the background to it, it'd probably sound really terrible. But in my mind, when I'm driving in my car or working out or something like that, I feel like I sound like I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is when we write in Swedish, I think we have different influences when we're writing in Swedish. Maybe we have some old prog music from Sweden and old, more different kind of vibes. When we do an English album, maybe we have Motorhead and Ramones and AC/DC and Rancid for influences, but I don't think we have the same influences when we're writing in Swedish.
But I think, like, all in all, we have a specific kind of sound right now that we didn't have in the beginning, because we were kind of struggling with defining our unique sound, and now we have more of a City Saints sound, I think, and we use that on both English records and Swedish. So we have kind of a similar sound, I think, on the Swedish and the English.
You can hear it City Saints.
Yeah, you can hear City Saints. So it's not that versatile, but maybe we have some we pick up some Swedish bands in our Swedish records, like old Swedish punk troublemakers and Glue and stuff like that. You know, the old Swedish influences, but we have them in the Swedish in the English stuff as well. So, yeah. And
I agree.
You seem to think it's the same band, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
That's good.
There's certain vocalists out there, I would say, that are easy to differentiate, right? Like if I'm just listening to something random come on and I didn't know a new City Saints single album, something happened to pop out, and Spotify just starts throwing on random stuff after whatever I listen to. That's how it works, right? And something came on that I hadn't heard previously, or maybe I guess even in a while I hadn't heard it, so maybe I don't recognize it. I think Stefan's vocals, just that alone pops in, and it's like, oh, I already know this is City Saints. But just as you pointed out, City Saints has kind of developed their own sound, and I think there's certain bands out there that you can say have that punk and roll sound, but you guys are for sure, like, if I was going to have a discussion with somebody, City Saints are the first band that pops into my mind about that punk and roll, that more rock and roll, 50s rock and roll elements that are included with maybe more modern street punk elements. I would have a hard time. I'd have to think about it to find the second band that kind of fits that description. I'm sure they're out there, but for me, first and foremost, and again, I'm probably biased, just as I told Stefan last week when we were talking, and I try to send it out, that City Saints for the last couple of years have been in my top 5 at the end of the year when Spotify is like, hey, these are the top 5 bands you've listened to, and City Saints have been in there. So maybe I'm listening to more City Saints as a punk and roll band than the other ones that are out there that might also be well known. So maybe I have a personal bias in that sense, where I have a harder time thinking of other bands that fit that description.
Yeah. So, I can't think of any other bands that sounds like us.
I can't either. Again, I was trying to make the excuse in case there's like 20 out there and you just rattle them off. Like maybe I just don't remember them, but I can't think of it either.
That's not about bragging or something like that. It's just that we have developed our unique sound with, because we are 4 members with different styles and different music taste and stuff like that, and we have just managed to blend all the things together in a pot, and
everything we like.
Everything we like, and it comes out like we just blend stuff in, and it comes out City Saints. So, and now it's no brainer to do a song, which style should we do it? Just do it our own style,
So if there've been 4 skinheads in the band or 4 punks or whatever, it would have sounded very boring. I think it's more fun if all the members have different influences and different favorite artists. Okay, of course, everyone in the band likes rock and roll, everyone likes punk music, but we have our different influences, so that ends up on the record.
It does. And I think going back to the City Saints and the Swedish tracks, after you did Pa Svenska, so that whole album, right, it's not so different to hear now that you put out something like Explosive. I mean, like you pointed out, it's a 3rd actual full length. If you divide punk and roll in its into 2 different albums, then you have, as you said, 3 full-length albums. And so when something like that comes out, it's not like, oh, there's the band that usually does English and now it's in Swedish. You probably have, between those 3 albums and then the other tracks here and there, you probably have 40 plus tracks that are all in Swedish, and 40 plus tracks more than a lot of bands' entire existence out there at this point too. And that's not counting the other half of your tracks.
I don't know how many songs we have written, but I think it's over 100 now.
All in all?
Oh,
yeah. Probably, yeah.
Because we have recorded 6 albums and 1 compilation, and we also have recorded many songs that we haven't released. So I think it's over 100 now.
What do you think about the latest one, Explosive? Is it?
How would you rate it?
Yeah, how would you rate it? Yeah.
Oh, so overall in the whole category, oh God, that's it's tough. Like there's certain bands that over an evolution, and I guess it really kind of depends on period of time, right? Like if a band puts out 3 albums in 4 years, their sound might not vary as much, right? But if they put out, say, 8 albums in 13 years or something like that, then you kind of have that variation a little bit. And I guess you can kind of go back to what you were saying with maybe starting to find that sound, though every album has really great ones. And so I guess it really depends. And I know I'm kind of avoiding the question, but
depends on the mood also.
You can be a politician.
right?
But we actually have fans that tells us, the first album is the best. Everyone else is shit, you know. So
I don't agree with
the
that.
best album. Kicking Ass is the best album, and of course, Kicking Ass, we still play 4 or 5 songs from that album that we have played since we started 13 years ago. So it's a great album, but we have done much better albums after that.
We have developed, but they haven't.
I guess people like what they like, but
Yeah.
on the other hand, as you pointed out, you don't want to sound the same, right? Just like if you had all the same guys that liked all the exact same bands, you would create a sound that probably sounds exactly like what other people are doing. So you would find it boring. And I think that really translates into, if you, even being a diverse group of guys in what you like, if you made Kicking Ass for the Working Class 5 more times or 6 more times, and half the time you did it in Swedish, but it still all kind of sounded like the same thing, you would find it boring as a band.
No fun.
Right.
Yeah,
right. And I think it goes back to, you know, you heard everything that you'd heard up to when Working Class came out. And then after that, how many bands have you heard? How many new tracks from old bands that you've heard, and all these other things that have come out? And so you have other influences since then. So why would you make something, not have it? You know, that's basically saying, all right, I'm going to create with only things I'd heard up to that point, and I'm going to ignore all the new stuff that I've come out and I've heard, regardless of genre of music too. Because I think we all evolve, all bands evolve, because you're also continuing to hear new bands, new songs, new sounds, and so forth.
Yeah.
But then we can't just change our sound completely and add keyboards like other bands and doing metal, or we have to stay inside the box, because people want to hear a City Saints records, and then we have to stay inside that box. But maybe we have evolved, and maybe there's some glam rock or reggae songs or whatever, but we have to stay inside the rock and roll box.
Maybe,
when
right?
We're writing. Yeah.
You take a page from Perkele, right? Their new stuff sounds very metal.
No, but Perkele are doing this because they have played together for 30 years, and I understand why they're doing what they're doing. But I don't know, do really the fans want to hear some heavy metal when they have bands that are better at playing heavy metal? I don't know, but it's up to them. It's up to every band to do whatever they like. But when I buy a AC/DC record, I don't want to hear and keyboards and cellos. I want to hear Angus Young's guitar, and
that would be interesting.
We'll make sure we pass on that suggestion.
But it's the same with bands like Motorhead and Ramones and whatever. But In the case of Perkele, I think the latest album is really great, and I have heard a new record as well, and it's great. So they still have the punk vibe.
Right.
So I bet the record's gonna be fantastic, and people will love it. But for us, I don't think it would work for us because we are much smaller band, but we want to we like a rock and roll with guitars and drums, and
we are still proud of the first one, you know,
Yeah.
the debut album. We are still proud of it, and we play, as Stefan said, we play a lot of songs from it nowadays. And we want to, you know, keep the same vibe, but just push it a little bit forward every time.
yeah.
So that's how
We still haven't done our best album. So we will try that every album we do, we will try to do the best album possible. So, and if you think you have made your best album, what's the point of continuing? So the next album will be better. But this album
I agree.
But
I
we are
agree.
proud of Explosive as well. So every record has for example, we put so much effort into punk and roll, you know. I think it was 24 songs or something. No other punk band has done that before. A double LP with one Swedish side and one English side. So that took too much of our energy. So when we did Explosive, we wanted to go back and do a kind of a garage rock album influenced by the old Swedish punk bands in the beginning of the 80s in Gothenburg, Perverts and Troublemakers and Göteborg Sound. Three great old bands, and we wanted that old guitar sound, and we wanted to do an album with not much overdubs, just go into the studio, record it live,
one take, kind of one take, and we want to keep it raw and basic and garagey, yeah. So after this Bohemian Rhapsody kind of album, punk and roll, you know, where
it was race.
We want to just keep it simple and just keep it raw, straightforward, and just doing a raw punk album like Explosive is.
So maybe the next album will be in English and
with keyboards.
No, but maybe we make a different sounding album the next time, because I think all our albums sounds a bit different. So let's see what the time will tell us to do.
Well, I think you do good. Like you pointed out keyboards. There's some bands that'll incorporate a keyboard like all their tracks, but then some might have a track that features an instrument such as the keyboard, right? So they have their own sound, but then they'll add that. You guys do a great job. Like I know every album I'm going to hear at least one track with the harmonica, and there's very few bands, and I think that's more of a rock and roll thing. Like I think if you put a harmonica to hardcore music, it's going to be like, I don't know if this really goes together, you know. Or so the harmonica can't really add, in my opinion, a positive addition in certain genres. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just haven't heard it yet, but I'm just picturing it.
That's why we call it just rock and roll often, and not like oi or something, because we are not afraid to use the harmonica like Stefan is playing, because we think about it as a good rock and roll tool, you know.
And that's why we call ourselves punk and roll, because rock and roll came from the blues. And as you have heard before, we have done some blues songs as well. and not many oi bands are playing 8 beats on the drums and doing blues songs. So we're not afraid to do that, and that's why we can use harmonica or the piano or something.
The only difference between the blues and the punk is that the blues says I'm feeling bad because of my woman, and the punk is I'm feeling bad because of the system. You know, it's quite similar.
Quite similar. My baby left me.
Yeah, my baby left me. The system has left me. So it's we have our roots in the blues, you know. So
just like the UK subs, for example, I think there are 2 bands, punk bands, that are using the harmonica. It's UK subs and Fear. I think Lee Wing in Fear uses the harmonica quite well, but that's the only bands I can think of.
He does. I think they've even performed live the saxophones in New York. Why am I can't think of the, if you like, oh fuck, I can't remember, but that song, he played the harmonica in lieu of where the saxophone is played on the recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
It's our secret weapon, you know, when we play and when we think things are going well, but throw in the harmonica. It's nice for it's time for our secret weapon, Stefan. and everyone goes wild, you know.
No, but it is something. If people haven't seen us before, I think they will be maybe shocked when they see it. So it's sometimes it could bring some noise to the crowd, but we always try to add some new instruments on each recording. The first one we have flute. Gabriel wrote a song called Our Town. Then we have a flute, and we have used the piano. On Explosive, we have actually what's it called? Dragspel.
Accordion.
Accordion. We have an accordion, and we have a banjo or something. Mandolin. Playing mandolin on that one.
We have this you know, the intro song is quite Ennio Morricone-ish, like Western like. So we are not afraid of going in and sniffing on different territories. So we really like to just explore things, but not the whole album, but just experiment a bit. So and we both love Ennio Morricone.
You can see the good, the bad, and the ugly on the.
Yeah, we worship it every day, you know. So that was quite an enjoyable moment to do the intro song. And
our producer Chips Kisby, he went nuts because we have to try this. So Gabriel has stood and I was holding a bass drum, a big bass drum, and that large, and Gabriel just boom, was hitting it, and it was really fun. So, and I don't do anything on that song. Gabriel does everything, but I try to do Ennio Morricone whistling. Not that tune, but another tune.
Yeah. The right tune.
Right.
In the right key.
Yeah. And we always we keep trying new stuff, you know, that we really like. On the first album, you can't maybe you might not know that we are influenced by Ennio Morricone, but we love his music, and this time we had the chance to do something that was similar to him.
And that's very great. I guess the drawback to adding those additions is probably hard to perform them live, right? Like if the track turns out really good and you're like, oh, it'd be great to add in the live set, and unless one of you are doing that in lieu of the instrument that you normally play, as opposed to, you know, you have the luxury when recording, you can record playing a guitar, you can record playing a drum, and then you can go back and do another instrument and record. Like one person can record a whole band, you just can't go perform it live. And so I guess the drawback is it's on your flutes or a mandolin, unless you have somebody coming with you. Like if you went to Germany, right? Like at a hometown show, you could probably get whoever guest did those instruments, or if one of the band members did that instrument plus their other instrument, then you'd still need somebody to come play that as well while they're playing guitar, drums, whatever. So that's the drawback, is creating a really cool song and then maybe not being able to perform it live in the same way that it's going to sound on the recording.
That's why we don't experiment too much, maybe one song or two songs on each record, because these songs we have never played live. Of course, we are playing the songs with the harmonica, but we don't play the songs with the flute or
No.
But every song, I think every song we have ever done, I think we could play them live, because the new instruments aren't they are a bit back in the production, if you know what I mean. They are not taking over. So these instruments, maybe you can hear them just a bit in the mix, and so I think with the mandolin, I don't think no one would. If we play that song live, I don't think
we noticed.
No.
If the mandolin wasn't there, and this Western kind of intro thing is not something we had a plan to play live anyway. So it's our intro song now.
We have it as an intro before we go on stage. So it's perfect in that sense. So
was that the intention when writing it? Did you intend that, or just after the fact?
Yes,
you thought, this will work out here.
We was talking about it because the album was too short. We just had, I think, 11 songs or something, and I talked to Gabriel, and maybe you could go home and write a instrumental song, because I have heard a song with Clutch, and I thought they did an instrumental on one album, and I thought, hey, that's cool to do an instrumental. Maybe you can write a good instrumental song. And Gabriel, I think you wrote 2 songs, and he sends me 2 different songs. And I have this, and I have an Ennio Morricone song. The Ennio Morricone song is kind of creepy and a bit eerie, and I really like that one. So we recorded it, and it was really fun to record it as well. But I think it's a great start to the album, because people don't know what will come after that one. If you hear an Ennio Morricone song, and what will happen next?
Yeah. Right.
Do the metal guitars and keyboards coming now?
Yeah, we heard it from a record deal, a record company. They were like, the first song, what the fuck was that? What the fuck? And then we said, and then okay, we're home now. We're home now. But in the beginning, it was quite strange for them to grasp, you know. But that was a good thing, I think.
I agree. You don't want to be predictable, just like we were talking. You don't want to make the same record over and over. Obviously, you don't want to be too distant. I was more making a joke with Perkley, even though I do like their album too. But I think when you do stuff like that, you really have to, you're doing it for yourself. And so you have that ability to be like, all right, we're going to take the time, the money and everything that it costs to record an album because we want to do it. And hopefully people like it. Or you really think that your genre, because a lot of people, I love a lot of styles of punk. I'm not attached to, it has to be oi music. It has to be street punk music. It has to be folk punk. It has to, you know, you pick whatever, it has to be ska music. I like a variety. And so, and I listen to metal music too. And so for a band to do something like that, I guess, as you point out, they're doing a metal album that's probably not as good at metal as the metal bands that are regularly doing those albums. But you know, if you like a band and you're like, oh, cool, well, this kind of sounds like them, but it also kind of sounds like this other stuff that I like, then you can do that. But you really, I think you have to go into it with the ability and the resources to say, we're doing this for ourselves because we like it. And then hopefully people like it as well. And if not, then, you know, Metallica's had an album or two where people didn't really like it, and they kind of bounced back the next time around because it really didn't translate to everybody. I'm sure if AC/DC put keyboards in an album, like you said, it probably wouldn't be as fan driven as like, oh, this is great. So they would bounce back on the next album. But if they did it, they would need to do it because they want to do it, not because they think that it's going to be like the next step in the evolution of the band, because that's probably not going to be it.
But in Metallica's case, you know, when they started as a thrash band, and when they did Ride the Lightning, people was telling, oh, they sold themselves because they wrote Ride the Lightning and no, Fade to Black, oh, a ballad, oh, they sold themselves. And when they did the Black album, everyone, oh, I only listened to the first 4 Metallica albums. It's complete bullshit. They can do whatever they want, but I actually prefer to listen to Load and Reload to the new album, because I don't think they're capable of doing thrash metal anymore. Not new songs anyway. I think the new album is the worst album ever. Not ever, but by Metallica. By Metallica, right. I don't really like that, because it's riff on riff on riff, and they're just trying to sound like they did 35 years ago. I don't think they managed to.
But I think it's important to stay true to yourself as a band, because you don't have to. It's easy to think, what does people want? They want us to do some Oi songs, or they want us to do this and that, and regarding Perkele, I think it's good for them to just they do what they want to do, I guess, and that's the whole point with it, because you can't.
They don't care. They don't care.
You can't always think about how other people would think of your songs and stuff like that. You have to really feel the fun of doing it.
Yeah, it's the same with the Booze and Glory. They have also gone away from the Oi music, and but they haven't changed their style, but Perkele have changed the style from album number 1. The first album was in Swedish, more of a classic Swedish punk style, and then they went skinheads, one skinhead, but they went Oi and did a couple of Oi and street punk albums, and then starting to explore more of a hard rock kind of, and so they evolved. And
but are we here to talk about
no,
City Saints, right?
Right.
To talk about City Saints.
Right.
Show the album again. Nice cover, right? Nice cover.
Very nice cover.
Yeah.
But we have known the guys in Perkele for a long time. We have known them. We went to school together 30 years ago, so that's why we can talk about them. But we don't talk about them anymore. So let's talk about the new album, Explosive.
Well,
do you have any more questions?
Yes, definitely more. I was going to point out on the note of, you guys aren't an Oi band, but I think Oi has a lot of rock and roll in it. It's just, as you've pointed out, your style of rock and roll kind of has more of that original rock and roll blues elements. And Oi in general is very rock and roll compared to the close, like street punk or other styles that are kind of in that same vein, but obviously their own distinct styles in punk music. And so that's why I think that punk and roll might be its own category, but then City Saints, as we pointed out, stands alone there. So where would you lump your band? And I would say if I pick a festival, it's probably going to be where all the Oi bands are. And then if we're diversifying a little bit, it's where all the Oi and street punk bands are, because that's where your style most fits and blends. But at the same time, it's very different. It's like you pointed out, it's got the blues elements to go along with your style of rock and roll.
The difference is, I think, it's country the Oi comes from. Oi in Sweden, there's not much rock and roll in the Oi bands in Sweden because they can't play. And in America, maybe there are more rock and roll in the American Oi. I really don't know, but I think we can play a biker club we can play a punk festival, we can play a oi festival, but we can also play a pop festival. We have played all venues with many different kind of bands. If you're a real oi band, you know, with 4 skinheads in the band, I don't think you can play a big festival when you have these kind of lyrics and songs and the vocals. I don't really like many of the oi bands from Sweden because of the vocals. They sucks, you know. Oh, they do. They really do, because they sing with the throat all the time. And there are some oi bands in Sweden. On the Job, I don't know if the oi band anymore, but on the Job is a good band and they're great friends of ours. But I think we can fit in everywhere, because we have, when we play Sweden, we usually play Swedish songs, maybe 8-10 Swedish songs. But if we go to the UK or Germany, we can have 15 songs in English and 2-3 Swedish songs, so we can elaborate, because we have so many songs and so many genres as well. And that's the strength of Sit Saints. I think we can fit everywhere with our music.
And we can see that in our when we do our live shows, just us and maybe one band more or something like that. We see the audience are pretty much, you know, ordinary people, and there are skinheads, there are rock people, there are people liking heavy metal, there are girls dancing in front of us, you know, just happy people. So we kind of engage a lot of different people, you know.
But that's because we have so much joy in our music. We want to do music, feel good music. That's why we don't do aggressive, violent songs, and because that don't fit us. But when we are playing, there are many girls in the audience, and you don't see girls dancing around at oi gigs. You see sweaty, fat 45 plus guys without t-shirts on that
Like us.
like but I think it's fun, you know. We have our parents at our gigs, and it's so fun that you can take your mother to a gig and she liked it,
and your daughter
and his daughter, for example.
Yeah.
And his daughter is 18 years old, and oh cool, my dad is a rock star.
Is she a fan? And does she just tell you that, or does she really believe it?
Yeah, I mean, she has some friends really that I have found out loves us, you know. So it's pretty fun to see that we are connected with a younger audience as well. She likes us because I'm in the band, I think, but maybe. But no, she thinks we are okay. But some of our friends are like, "What? Are your dad playing in Citizens?" And they are like 18, 17, 19, and that's quite fun to attract some younger audience as well. So it's not just the 45-year-old guys that they like us.
I think that's how you keep this music scene alive. And just with any interest, you could have an interest in anything, and you have to have that continual replenishment, right? Obviously, as you know, if we look back at the first fans of this type of music, they were probably 20s, 30s back in the 70s, and now a lot of them, unfortunately, you know, start passing away. And the more the years go on, we start working our way into the fans that were new fans in the 80s, new fans in the 90s, discovering all that stuff and so forth. And you have to replenish. So the younger crowd now has to start liking, getting to know, listen, and become fans, and then also make this music too. Otherwise, what ends up happening is all the music is going to be archived somewhere and nobody's listening to it. So it's really good that bands like yours out there is probably a really good gateway, because it is so upbeat and so fun and danceable. You have younger crowds, you have women into it. and then they will discover your band and maybe discover some other bands that they might not have.
But at the same time, you know, our influences are 40, 50, 60 years. So they have kept going for so long. And I don't think that, you know, we are influenced by the Sex Pistols, and they have played since 76. And we have so much rock and roll in our influences. And I don't really think that young kids understand rock and roll nowadays. You know, Green Day, Dookie, 30 years ago that album was released, and for me it sounds like a new record. That was released 2-3 years ago. No, but
Yeah.
but it's really old. It's 30 years old. So
But I think at the same time, I think that people, younger bands here in Gothenburg, for example, like action rock bands, they are referring to Helicopters as the at the old vintage band.
yeah,
And Helicopters are paying tribute to MC5 and stuff like that. You know, Agent Studios and stuff like that. So it just depends on which year you're at, you know.
yeah,
If you're younger, you're thinking Helicopters, and Helicopters are the same as MC5, for example, and you're thinking about us, we are like a time machine to the 70s, kind of. So it just goes around and round and round, you know. So if you're a youngster today, you don't know about Little Richard, but you know about AC/DC, and you know, stuff goes on and on, you know. So I think rock and roll will always live, and
I do
punk
too.
rock. Yeah.
but in 5 years maybe we get hip. I don't really know. So
What's it called? Hip?
but you understand what I mean, because of some bands. We have a other band before City Saints, and we played vintage classic rock, you know, Rolling Stones, AC/DC kind of vibe. And we started that band 20 years ago, when the scene was dead in Gothenburg. And then we started City Saints, and after we started City Saints, this classic rock scene just exploded with bands like Horizont and Graveyard from Gothenburg. You know, long-haired guys with big mustaches, and so the scene really exploded. So maybe we go back to that one day. We don't know, but
we're always wrong, you know.
so we have always been wrong, and we started City Saints
when the punk scene was not that hip. It was, you know, the 70s rock were rising, you know, and punk was not that big, so we sort of punk
so
against the grain.
Yeah. But we always have made music for ourselves in the first place. So let's see what happens on the next album. But
it will be songs that we are always our own critics. You know, we are hard on ourselves in that matter, that we always want to do stuff better and evolve and stuff like that. So we will not give you a shitty album. That one we can guarantee. So
Right?
it will be great.
We will not release an album next year because next year we will release Guns of Gothenburg, a re-release. We will do a new mix and a new master of that album because it turns 10 years next year. So we will have some work to do with that one. But the year after, the band turns 15. So our plan is to have a 15 years anniversary album, some kind of way, an English album, but that is something we have in our plans.
We are going into our cave and we are experimenting and stuff like that, and we're coming out with a strong album, I hope.
Yeah. And we always does many demos before actually, when we did Punk and Roll, me and Gabriel went around to lots of studios just to feel the vibe of the studio, recording 2 or 3 songs at that studio, another studio, and so maybe we do that.
Quite ambitious.
Yeah, quite ambitious. So maybe we do that again, because it was quite fun to do that.
At least we think so.
I'm sure it'd be fun to do again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we will release those songs, because it's me on the drums and Gabriel on guitar and bass guitar. So and I think some of that songs are quite good, and we actually done some songs that never end up on an album. So who knows?
You never know.
Right, you could always do a split, right? Like, or something like that, if you don't want to do just an exclusive release, or put it on a compilation. Something like that would be a good place if it doesn't really fit with your next album.
Exactly.
We will try something, but if sometimes it's hard to do when you're doing a split album. It's hard because you don't want to have your best song on a split album. You want to have your best songs on a full length album.
Yeah.
So
but you want to break down the band.
Yeah.
If there's a split album, you want to be better than the other band.
Yeah.
So you have to have like not the best song, but a better song than theirs,
So that's what splits really are. They're a competition between 2 bands trying to not put their worst songs on the album, but not their best songs on the album.
Yeah. That's the balance. That's a tricky thing right there. So
we only did one split, and that was with
old-fashioned ideas.
Old-fashioned ideas. Yeah, we did.
We tested you, and you
did.
Yeah,
I told you, always in the top 5.
Yeah, I Fought the Law. That's the one we did, and we have one song from Guns of Gothenburg as well. The only song that Tommy played drums on.
United We Stand.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But so it's split. It could be fun, but it's not nice to hear the split, and you hear your songs and then the other band's songs, and it hasn't happened, but and theirs are better, So it's a kind of a competition, but a sweet competition, because you have to like the band, and you have to shake hands and all that, but you have to be a little bit better. So,
right.
But we know the guys in Old-Fashioned Ideas as well. Niklas is, as you know, he played guitar on the first Bastardos album, and they are great guys, but they do different kind of punk than we do. They are more aggressive and more hardcore than we are. So I think it's on different levels. With Sid Saints and Old-Fashioned Ideas. And I don't really know if they play anymore, because I haven't heard of them in many years.
Right. Yeah, it's been a while. I think the best concept to do with a split is, if you're going to tour with somebody, say, hey, we're going to go do a couple shows with somebody, and why not do a promo split? We'll throw it on vinyl or on CD or whatever, and then you can sell it at those whatever number of shows. Yeah, and it would be a fun thing to do, and especially a fun thing for people that are going to go to those shows to be able to get. And then maybe it's less competitive.
And I really had a good idea right now. If you take a band like On the Job, and we do a compilation or a split EP together, they are doing 2 City Saints songs, and we are doing 2 On the Job songs. That would be really fun. That would be fun for both bands as well.
Would you buy it?
I would 100% buy it, especially, we talk about like more popular songs that you're probably going to play in your live sets, right? So for fans of On the Job, they're going to hear City Saints do a version of it, right? It's not going to be the same thing, because the vocals are going to sound different. You guys are going to play it different, and you might even hear it different than other people. So that's how it would come out, and then vice versa. And I think it'd be really fun I enjoy when bands do that. You know, No Effects, a good one I was just listening to the other day. Somebody sent me something, but No Effects and Rancid did something like that at one point, right?
That is a great split.
Right. And the
Yeah.
songs are
What
so
a
different,
combo.
but
Yeah.
so much the same. Like when I'm
Mhm.
hearing Rancid do No Effects songs, you know, like Moron Brothers, and you're like, oh yeah, I know the words, but it doesn't quite sound the same. And so it's really
Yeah.
fun to hear. It's almost like a reimagining of a track rather than a cover of a track. You know, like
Mhm.
if you do the I Fought the Law, which I always forget, you pointed out in the Bastardus interview, the person that did it back in the 50s originally, who the Clash covered. When you do that, that's more of a cover, I guess, and it could still be a reimagining, but it's such a distant time and almost you know, completely different styles of music when you're doing something like that. But for example, Old Fashioned Idea, no, we were talking about On the Job and City Saints aren't that different. I mean, you are, but at the same time, you're both like making music now. The songs are probably coming out around the same period of time. And so I would 100% buy it. I would for sure want to listen to it right away.
Yeah.
And On the Job is one of the few oi bands in Sweden.
One sold EP. One sold.
One sold.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But On the Job is one of the few oi bands in Sweden that I really like, that also have a bit of the kind of punk and roll vibe as well, because they when they done also Sept cover.
Yeah, Rebel.
Yeah.
I'm a rebel.
I'm a skiing.
I'm a skin. Yeah.
So they like the 70s music just as we do.
Yeah. We come from the same places. I
Yeah,
think.
and we're the same age.
Yeah.
But your styles and
They are a bit
vocals.
older. Yeah, a bit older. But who counts? Who counts, right?
I think your styles, even though there's all the similarities, they're different enough, right? So if you guys were to do those tracks, you would do City Saints version of that track. On the Job would do their version of a City Saints track, as opposed to,
Yeah.
you know, something that pops into my mind is like a cover band, or, you know, so they're going to do a cover set, for example. Well, if we're talking about Green Day earlier, if a cover band does Green Day, they're trying to sound as much like Green Day as possible, right? They're not doing, you know, four guys put together and let's just do a bunch of Green Day songs and people will recognize the words, but they're not going to recognize the song. They're going to actually do the other, where they're going to try to sound as much like it as possible, which I think what you're describing is much different than that. It's not City Saints trying to sound like On the Job as if On the Job we're doing the track. And I think that's the part that makes it interesting and you want to listen to.
Yeah. Now we're talking about this like this is gonna happen. So
right?
They are gonna call us and say, "What about DP? Are you gonna do it? Are we gonna do it now?" You know.
They're going to call you with the tracks they already have in mind. So you guys got to come up with their tracks that you want. That way you're ready to go.
We have done our part now.
We are our songs.
Yeah, we have recorded your songs. So
I think it's a good idea. I will contact them.
I think it's a great idea. I'm looking forward to it.
But it's the same as we did with Evil Conduct on the radio when Peter and Test Tube Babies on the radio. We tried to do, when we did the Evil Conduct songs, I think we had some more rock and roll in the guitars, and we did the harmonica part instead of the guitar part. So we tried to do our kind of version of those songs, and
our take on the originals. So it's
right.
and
it's quite similar, but also not.
Yeah.
So I think we did really good versions, and Han told me also when I talked to him the last time, he was really proud of that moment, because when we invited Han, we played together at Rebellion. I think it was, I don't know, 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Something like that.
Yeah, and we invited Han, and they have just split up Evil Conduct, and we invited him to sing with us, and we did Home Sweet Home. And after that performance, he just I must get the
band together.
Yeah,
right?
get the old band back together.
Yeah.
So he, it was because of us he went back and reunited with his brother and the old bass player. So we are a big part of Evil Conduct nowadays.
Well, thank you for me, and I'm sure a lot of people are also thanking you, because a great band. And the tracks that you did there with the Peter and the Test Tube Babies ones too were really cool. It's a fun thing to do. I think that bands can do without having to put out a new album every single year, right? Like the little over 2 years.
Happens.
Yeah.
In between albums, you had I think 2 years between Punk and Roll, which is a double album anyway, but and then Explosive. So you have that period of time. But as a band, you can do other cool projects like what you just did, and what we were talking about potentially doing with On the Job or whoever. I mean, you can pick whomever to do something like that with, but it's a lot of fun. But in a sense, you guys already did it, just like part of it. You did your part, but Evil Conduct didn't pick out some City Saint songs and make them sound more like Evil Conduct or Peter and Test Tube Babies, right? But you guys basically did your half of what we just described.
But and now they should pay up. It's their time now.
Yeah.
Do some City Saint songs,
or else
here's the fist.
No, but that was not ordinary covers, because we did the covers with the original singers as well.
Sure.
You know, when I if I'm talking for myself now, but when I started to listen at punk rock 35 years ago, Peter and Test Tube Babies was a big band for me, you know, with all the songs they have done. You know, Band from the Pubs is a really great songs, and that album, the Jinx album, is a fantastic, it's a classic album. And to have this original singer to fly in from England just to record the vocals with us, it's a big deal for when he
Yeah, he's a fan. So
I'm a fan, but
when you're a fan, it's a big deal.
yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, but it was a big deal for everyone, because it's a great band. And also with Evil Conduct, it's cool to have the singer or the guitar player or whatever from the band to do a cooperation with us. That was the cool thing, I think. So maybe we do it again someday.
And he's such a cool character, and he's so nice and so warm, and we had a great time with him in the studio.
Did you know what how we paid him?
In beer.
Yeah.
That's got to be the currency, right? That's the currency in the scene. Like, you got to tell people, hey, we're going to do a music video. We've got plenty of beer. Show up.
But actually, he had. I know he had a gig in Gothenburg, but he flied in earlier from England. And the other band was really pissed, because why would we have to fly in at 4 o'clock in the morning? Because I'm doing a track with City Saints. So the other guys in the band was really pissed at that.
They don't like us. Who gives a fuck? we have him on on the set, so it's it's a win-win.
Peter actually wrote me a letter with the lyrics from the song "Giving Up Drinking," and he signed it. And two Sissy Saints, the best boy. Sissy Saints, the best boy band in Sweden.
Oh, thank you. Honored. Yeah, he's a funny dude.
Yeah. You know, he got this really dry English humor, Monty Python kind of humor, and so he's fun to be around.
Yeah,
that's awesome. A great experience, right?
Yeah. And we have quite of a dry humor in Gothenburg as well, so it's just a match made in heaven, you know?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Thinking about what we were talking about earlier, so kind of to go back to explosive, but kind of overall encompassing, right? Because you're trying to write the best album, better than the last, and so forth. So that's why I'm kind of using explosive as an example right now. But what you were talking about is maybe you're always looking to write the next best album. So do you have specific tracks that you guys use as a comparison? Meaning, all right, we've created something new, and then you think about this song and then maybe other good songs that you're like, well, that one was really good from the last album, or those were, because obviously not every song's the same sounding song too. So maybe something you write sounds more similar to specific tracks, not like the whole overall album. But do you have specific tracks throughout your albums, or even maybe on Explosive, that going forward, that's the bar that you're trying to surpass?
I know that you mentioned Raise a Fist sometimes. As we have to make a new Raise a Fist, like that is a hit song, you know.
Right.
So it's and
Can't Pin Me Down.
Yeah.
But Carl, the bass player, didn't like that song at first. But always when we played Can't Pin Me Down in Germany, the audience was, when we come to the chorus, me and Gabriel, oh, can't pin me down, and the audience will chip in on that. So that also is a great song that we will try to. I think the energy and the nerve in that song, in both Can't Pin Me Down and Raise Your Fist, is. I don't think we have any of those songs on Explosive. There are some songs on that album that people like, and but it's a quite new album, so we don't really know yet. But you know, we always have these boogie songs with the guitar, and these songs always.
Yeah. But it's not like we're trying to remake Slippery Joe or
Kicking Off
or something like
Right.
that, because they are the songs that are the number one or number two on the Spotify chart. But we are not trying to release that again. So it's more of personal taste, I think. I want to do it like you want to do a new Razor Fist or something like that. But we have no such song that we want to remake or something. We want to do just another hit song, because I think every band, I mean, if it's a punk band, a rock band, or a hard rock band, they want to make a hit song. That
a good song,
a good song,
yeah.
And that means that the people like it, and I think everyone are thriving for that, you know, a new hit song, and we are as well.
But
So,
sometimes when you do an album, we can talk, because me and Gabriel does all the songs, and maybe we can sit down and talk, and we need a punk rock and noise song in the same vein and in the same spirit as punk rock and noise, and we need Raise Your Fist, and we need a kind of kicking ass, and we need Explosive, the title song from the newest album. So we can talk about what we need, and we do songs in the maybe same spirit, but we don't try to copy the songs, but we try to do a song in the same spirit.
Because it has to be a good album, you know. It's got to be good from point A to point B, you know, all the way, and that's when we talk about. Like you said, we have to have this type of song, you know, this type of song, and so forth.
So we need maybe 2-3 fast songs. We need a AC/DC song, which we always need, and we always,
everyone needs it. Everyone needs it.
And we always need you know, a Sex Pistols song or a Ramones song, and we try to do.
and then it's always this song that doesn't really fit the game, but we
do it anyways.
Yeah, we do it anyways. And it could be acoustic, it could be a ballad, it could be a Western song or something like that. But we have to be brave enough to put it in there and not just diss it because it's out there or something like that. We have to be brave enough to put it on the record.
Yeah,
I think it's a good idea. And if you're happy with it, that's probably what makes most sense on putting it there, not making it for other people, because then you might not be as happy with your product. A follow-up to that would be, you pointed out that your bass player didn't really like Can't Pin Me Down. So do you think after performing it in front of crowds that really respond to it, do you think opinions change? And does that go for you guys?
No. His opinion doesn't change, but he think he's okay with playing it because the crowd going nuts or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're all okay with playing songs that are not our favorites because of the people, and it's all about
giving the people what they like as well, because one of the songs that we all hate playing is Punk Rock and Oi. Or at least the drummer Robin, but it's not fun playing that song. But every time we play it, the audience goes completely nuts. So some songs you have to play, and they're kind of, the guitars are the same all the way, and it's a good song. I don't put down the song, but some songs are more boring than other songs.
Yeah. But it's a rewarding thing for us to see the crowd going nuts. It's very, very, very boring in the rehearsal room, but when we
play it, always fun.
Yeah, it's always fun. So it's our reward to see the crowd going nuts.
Yeah, and now we have a gig next weekend in Gothenburg. We have a re-release for the album Blue Color Suns, and we are playing 4 songs from that album that we have never played live. Wow. So these songs are, and it was when we rehearsed them 2 days ago, it was really fun to play them. It was really, really fun because we played a song called My Streets. This is a real street punk song, My Streets, and it sounded fantastic. And we also played Know My Name. We have never played that. That is more of a mix between Rancid and Motörhead, perhaps. But it was great as well, playing that songs. And Working Class Rockers, Go, 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 and Punk Rock and Oi. All these songs are from the Blue Color Suns album. And we tried them out for the first time ever. Not all songs, but some of them. And it sounded really great. So maybe we keep them in the set list for a couple of years.
You never know.
Do you find yourself writing songs that you might enjoy and you're like, I don't know if everybody's going to be like really into it, but then you either play it live or hear feedback from people that they really do enjoy it? Have you had any of those?
When we do a new album, we have lots of new songs. We do lots of demos. For a new album, maybe we have 30 songs or something. And Gabriel will send songs all the time. What do you think about this? And that's good. And we work. He works at home and I work at home, and we sometimes we get together and do songs as well. And then we just take whatever feels right for the album. So sometimes we have done songs that I think not on the Explosive album, but on the Punk and Roll album, we did a song that we wrote for På Svenska that didn't end up on På Svenska, and we did it on Punk and Roll instead. So some songs are living in the back of your head, and they get a new life some years later. So
you never know when it's gonna not make an album but then be the lead single from your next album, right?
Yeah, you never know.
But not sometimes, every time on every record, we do a song that we think that, this is the hit song. No.
Yeah.
No.
Like my Streets was one of those songs, and Coming Home on the Guns of Gothenburg. I thought when I wrote that song, Coming Home, this is a no-brainer. This is a hit, and nobody likes it. and it's okay, it seems like
it's the same with this one, På Svenska.
Yeah,
we did a song called Karma.
Yeah,
and even the Chips Kisby in the studio say this is the hit one, the hit record. No one has ever listened to that one. Instead, it's Banditer, Göteborg, rock and roll, some songs we didn't believe in at all.
Oh,
that went
so
really.
Even the producer didn't get it right, So it's, who knows? And that's quite the charm of it, that you don't really know for sure what people will get into, because it's a you never know.
No.
Right. And it sounds like there's a bit of surprise there. You were mentioning earlier, like the top tracks like Slippery Joe. So if you go to Spotify, like your top ranked listened to tracks, do you guys, obviously you probably look at them. I think most bands, if you're going to create set lists, you're probably going to take a glance at stuff like that. That way you have an idea of what people are into. But do you find yourself kind of in line with maybe your favorites compared to what the more listened to tracks are? Or do you find some of those as a surprise? We're like, we like the track, because obviously you're going to like everything you put on a record. Otherwise, I'm sure it would be one of those that, like you said, are just kind of living up here, waiting for the right time or the right changes to it. But do you find yourself kind of in line with thinking, okay, I get it, I like those two, I think those are they should be the higher listened to songs? Or do you find any of them as a surprise, like, God, I can't believe that these are the ones that are up there, because they're good but we didn't think they were that good?
No, not really. In my case, I think always that every song on the record is going through has gone through a kind of censorship, in
filter.
Filter.
Yeah.
Like, is this good enough to put out on an album? Yes, it is. This can be a hit. Is this good enough? Yes, it is. So I'm not really I'm not that
concerned about.
No, concerned
No.
or surprised
No.
to see some like like in Banjo,
Street punk pop.
Street punk pop. Yeah, I'm not really surprised to see that one up there, or anyone else, because I am a strong believer in every song, and maybe that is because when you're nursing the baby, when you put it out in the window.
Right.
Every baby that hit the ground. So it's no, it's not that surprising, I think, but because
and also we have every song that Gabriel does, he sends to me, and I get I'm the first person that ever listen to it, and me and Gabriel maybe picks out 20 of the 40 songs, and then it's Carl that also get a pick from those 20 songs. So I don't think we ever had any bad songs but sometimes we have songs that I think we have done many songs that don't fit City Saints, but they are good songs, really good songs. I think we did on the Punk and Roll album, we did some songs that we will never play live. It's not the City Saints sound, like Mondog's Blues. And the first time I heard it, Gabriel sent it to me, and no, this is not a City Saints song. This is a DLK song, De Lyckliga Kompisarna. It's a classic Swedish punk band that have played for 30 years. So why don't we get the original singer from that band to sing on that song? And he did.
Wow.
So we did a duet. So it's really cool to have Mart on that song doing a duet with me, and it's a really great song, but we will never ever play it live. And I think it's a great song.
Yeah, and that's a part of the
The
thing
fun.
that's the thing that's that we have to do is be brave enough to have those kind of, because that is not a typical citizen song, but we have to be brave enough to put it out there, and that's why we are so we are so happy that people are liking us, because we have some strange things going on there at times, but people are buying it, and that is a real treat for us.
And that's why when you listen to a Citizen's album, and I can't say that for that many bands, but when you listen to a Citizen's album, you never get bored. You never get bored. Oh, in case you don't like Citizen's at all, then you can just fuck off. But if you listen to Citizen's, you don't get bored, because the next song will not sound like the first song.
Right.
If you understand what I'm talking about here.
Right.
Because,
absolutely.
Yeah. And but has a similarity in the sound, or in the the lick, or the song, Stefan's singing style and stuff like that. But it has something unique to put on the table.
Yeah, and we never been afraid to use different kinds of style. We have done ska songs, we have done blues songs, and we're not afraid to use the acoustic guitar. And me and Gabriel loves the Beach Boys, for example, and that's why we
the
can,
harmonies.
the harmonies. We can experiment with the harmonies and the rock and roll as well, because in the rock and roll sound you have this kind of things, and I think the Beach Boys are much more cooler than every punk band in the world, according to me, because Brian Wilson was a genius. So that's what I'm talking about. We aren't afraid to use these kind of influences from the Beach Boys or the Beatles or the Grateful Dead or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
One great thing about having conversations like this is people do get to then maybe figure out, I think that there's a saying out there, something like, ask your favorite bands who their favorite bands are, right? Something like that, where you can kind of get an idea of maybe what inspires their music, what they listen to. And I think that kind of goes along with what you just said. So, people hear your music, but now they're getting an idea of maybe what you're listening to and things that you're pulling from to kind of put together and make your music, which is really cool.
Do you know Olga from the Toy Dolls? You have heard the Toy Dolls?
Yep.
Do you know why he plays Fender
Telecaster?
Fender Telecaster? Why he plays that kind of guitar, Fender Telecaster? He plays that because of Status Quo and Dr. Feelgood, Wilco, playing the guitar. That was his favorite guitar players, Rick Parfitt in Status Quo and Dr. Feelgood, Wilco. So that's why he plays those guitar. And it's the same with the Sex Pistols. The influences for Steve Jones was, he tells everyone it's Johnny Thunders, but I think it's bullshit. But because
his opinion,
that was at the same time, and he didn't heard Johnny Thunders when he started to play the guitar, but his main guitar heroes was Buddy Holly, it was Chuck Berry, it was Faces and Small Faces before that, and Johnny Rotten, when he auditioned for Sex Pistols, he auditioned singing karaoke to a Alice Cooper track. So Johnny Rotten was influenced by Alice Cooper band, and
it's every interesting band is always inspired by different different artists and different. It's sort of inspiring for a band to, you know, now we're gonna sound like the Clash, or now we're gonna sound like the Sex Pistols. Every 4 or 5 in the band listen to Sex Pistols, and that's not interesting.
No, not at all, not at all.
You have to have your own ID and your own influences.
We actually played with the UK subs. I think we talked about this before, but we played with the UK subs in England, and me and Gabriel sat down with Charlie Harper, the singer from the band, and after we had played, Charlie Harper came up to me and nice harmonica, and that was really great for me.
So he passed out.
but then me and Charlie and Gabriel just sat down and have a talk. And we just talked about Rolling Stones, you know, because that was his influence. And talking about, he saw actually Rolling Stones, but he saw them with Brian Jones.
Yeah.
And
even earlier. Yeah.
So that is really cool to sit down with your heroes, and he talks about your heroes and his heroes, and so I think it's really fun to have to see what your heroes' influences are.
I agree, and especially when they blend with some of the ones that you like, or even better when it's bands that you've never heard of. So then you get the opportunity to go discover something else that obviously you're going to have some interest in because they were interested in. They're taking something from it and incorporating it into their thing. Yeah, it's really cool. You did mention the show that's next week. Do you guys have anything else on the horizon that City Saints is going to be playing? Any intentions, specific shows, probably where you're at or wherever, or anything that you're tentatively planning maybe out in the not too distant future?
We have some plans.
Yeah, we are planning to take over the world.
Yes.
So breaking news. We are taking over the world. But others, now we think about something. Yeah,
we have some gigs in the horizon, and we don't really know. But we will take some time out to just discuss what we will do, and we have some exciting things coming up, but we will take them in a later.
Yes, it's in our. We're taking that into our cave, so it's not for the sunlight, you know.
No.
It's we are taking into the dark. So yeah, we are having stuff in the future.
You've already let the cat out of the bag. You're going to be doing a split with On the Job, and you're going to be doing a couple of their tracks. They're doing a couple of yours.
Exactly.
But still, it was just 6 months ago we released this album. So we still have to do shows on this album, and it's a great album. And
yeah, we're proud of it.
Yeah. So
that was going to be one of the other questions I wanted to get to. It's probably hard to cover all the tracks, but say that next show next week, what tracks are from the new album are making it on the set list? So what tracks will people hear next week? And then maybe in some of these shows that'll be coming up, what are some of those tracks that people will hear?
We'll start with Göta Älv, the first one, the Ennio Morricone song. We will.
It's intro, playing in the monitors, and
but we're not doing that much songs from that album. Actually, we're doing Explosive, the title track. We're doing Majorna, and we're doing Blod and Bly.
We are not a fan of bands just playing new songs, because every fan
wants to hear the old songs.
You want to hear the old songs and some new songs, but not every new song, you know. And we have respect for our fans. So we wanna do this.
So maybe we try the new songs in 2 years or something. But you know, when I saw Iron Maiden the last time, they played the 3 first songs from the new album, and I think each of those songs are 10 minutes long.
Wow.
And I think
you did go home.
I was in Denmark, so so I just waiting for Merciful Fate to go on. But you know, a band like that going on and play 3 songs from the new album, and just like Metallica playing 4 songs from the new album on the latest tour, I think it's really boring, because sometimes these songs are good. In Iron Maiden's case and Metallica's case, oh, not that good. I love Metallica. I think James Hetfield is the greatest.
Not just the songs.
But I think playing those songs, 4 songs from the new album, especially if they are 4, 5, 6 minutes long,
But you have to understand what the fans, what the people want, and of course they want the old hit songs, and you blend it with some new songs, and the new songs might be classics, but not yet. So I think you have to be kind of listening to your audience, listening to the fans.
But we have a really big problem, and the problem is
you.
we have released 6 albums, and on each albums there are different kind of tracks that we have to play. On Kicking Ass, there are 3 songs that Kicking Ass, Rude Boy, and Slippery O. We must play them. On the second album, Blue Collar Suns, you have Punk Rock and Oi. We must play that song. Then we did a compilation between that, and then we released Guns of Gothenburg. And on that album, we have Guns of Gothenburg, the title track.
Yeah.
We must play that song. We must play Kids of the Street. And we have just started to play Street Punk Bop, because that song is really rising on Spotify. So many people just love that song 10 years later. So it's really special. So we must play that song. And after that one, we released På Svenska. And we have 2 songs from that. Banditer and Rock and Roll. We must play every time, and sometimes Enade. After that one, we released Punk and Roll, and we have 2, 3 songs from that. Raise Your Fist, Can't Pin Me Down, and on the Swedish side we have Jag Faller, Noll Control.
Noll Control, yes.
Yes.
So that leaves us with like 1 or 2 songs that we can experiment with. So.
Right.
Yeah, so we are kind of. I mean, we like the attention of some songs, but we have to keep that in the set, you know, and that leaves a small room of adjustments, you know.
But when we're playing now in Gothenburg next week, we're doing 2 sets, so we're doing 30 songs. So now we have time to do so many songs that we want, because we're the main band. No other band. We have a guy called Myran, the ant.
Yeah, he's not called that, but he lives like that.
But he plays acoustic guitar, and he's just has a makeup looking like he's the living dead. He's a really cool guy, but he's playing the acoustic guitars and singing spooky songs. And so we're doing 1 set in English, then Myran is doing a small set, and then we go back and doing a Swedish set. So we're doing 30 songs with everything we got that we like. So that will be really fun, actually. So
a lot more of the songs from Explosive will probably make it onto that second part of the set then,
yes.
Are there any tracks? I just want to make sure that we cover this too, for anybody that's hasn't had a chance to listen to it too much. Are there any specific favorite tracks for you that maybe we haven't really talked about yet from Explosive?
I just can't talk for myself, but I like Staden Brinner, because when we're starting the song with the riff, and I actually get to sound like Joe Strummer in London Calling, you know, with the monkey, wah, wah, wah,
right?
And on every album we have ever done, we have a small to bands we like, a small what do you say? You have a small tribute to every band. So on this song you have The Clash and Gabriel. When we did Göteborg, that song, Gabriel do the exact same guitar solo as Mick Jones does on that album. And we always, and on Explosive, we're starting the song Blood and Bly, just like the AC/DC song Overdose. So we try to make a tribute to the bands we like on every album we do.
Some little touch of it.
Yeah.
Not just covering it, or just a touch of
when we did it when we did this compilation album, we had a song called Flame of Fire, and the song start with bass.
Yeah, the bass drum.
And then you have the boots marching. And we started it just like Holidays in the Sun with the Sex Pistols. Cheap Holiday in Other People's Misery. Ba-bam. And when we did that live, we started with that one. But in the chorus, we went over to do a Sham 69 song. I think we did when we played Rebellion at the first time. We did Sham 69 song in that song.
We did?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No one remembers.
Not even me. So, okay. I did.
The kids are united. They will never be divided. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now he remembers.
Yeah.
Yes. Rings a bell. Rings a bell.
Before we forget, then, since there's a few things that you can't quite go over just yet, where should people follow you for when you're able to post, upcoming shows and your new upcoming split EP and anything else that comes along?
Yeah. It should be Facebook, right? Facebook is the best, I think, social media site to be following us.
Yes. If you're looking for gigs, then it would be great. Then you can follow us on Instagram. But we are old guys, we are not on TikTok and some.
Be sure to follow us on Spotify and stuff like that, so you can hear the shit. But I think otherwise we are all old geeks. But I think Facebook would be a preferred place
just to find the gigs. Find the gigs. So.
And for people that, you pointed out Spotify so people can hear your music, but if they want to go buy your music because your albums are on vinyl, where's the best place to go find those vinyls? Because most everything is there.
You can find our vinyls everywhere.
Okay.
You can find it on Amazon. You can find it from a record company, Sunny Bastards, and you can find our music nearly anyway.
And that's where the reissues are coming out as well as Sunny Bastards, right?
Yeah.
Sunny Bastards would be a great place to start looking.
But also you can find our music on Apple or not just Spotify. I don't know all the.
But if you want to buy the vinyl and physically, I think Sunny Bastard would be maybe great.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's .de.
Right. And then artwork on your albums. Like, who did the Explosive artwork on the cover?
Then I had to put my glasses on because I can't read,
Now, Professor. Professor Stefan. Yeah, Professor Explosive will go through.
Actually, it's a guy in the US who we known for quite some time. And his name is Jeff Hultgren. And he helped us out a lot of time. He did the Evil Conduct album as well. I don't really know where he lives, but
Chicago.
Somewhere. Yeah, Chicago. You know him? Yeah,
I do. So I don't know why the camera, it's got a mind of its own today. It's been zooming in, but that SLC Punkcast logo there.
Yeah.
And that's Power Records. Let's see There you go. The Punkadoy Worldwide. He did both of those for me back in 2019. And I've met him. Him and Chris from Hard Cell did a Frontline Fest, and I got to meet them both in person there. But he did both of those. And then on some of your other albums, I told you last week that Power Radio one, Malvina.
Malvina from Poland.
Yes.
Yes, she did Punk and Roll. And after that, because of you guys, I actually went to her, and she did that one.
She done yours.
Bastards
Yep.
as well.
Yeah,
But
you can see
from the start with this album, actually, I came with the idea, and my
yeah, he came on the idea.
no, but I have ID, and my girlfriend is great. My girlfriend has painted lots of our earlier releases, just like På Svenska and Blue Collar Sons.
Yeah,
and Guns of Gothenburg. So she have painted all those albums. And she painted this as well, and I was not really happy with it, so I contacted Jeff, because she did the background. So the background of this album is painted. So he got the original painting of the background, and then he had to put in the skull on her painting. So Ulrika has done the explosion, and Jeff has done the artwork, as you say. And I did the cover art together with Ariel from Bastardes. He did Ariel did all the inner sleeve, and he always have helped us out with with everything, playing guitar and writing songs
and doing covers.
Yeah. But Jeff is a really nice guy, and I really like him. So
turned out real fine.
Yeah.
It did. You got all your artwork always really good. And I guess it's probably good to go to different artists. You guys have the skull, so you kind of have the reoccurring theme or reoccurring character, whatever you'd want to call it. But then also so different at the same time because of the different artists. And so the looks are very different, even though they're similar.
Yeah. Just as you say, we have a logo that is we have a great logo. So just like when we started the band, we talked about the logo, and I was painting the logo kind of shitty, but we wanted to have a logo just like the Ramones have a great logo, the Rolling Stones have a great logo with the tongue, but also the metal bands, just like Iron Maiden and Megadeth, Vic Rattlehead in Megadeth. They have great logos, so we want to have a logo as well. So we can have a T-shirt with just a skull, and people will know what band it is if they know punk.
Right.
They know punk.
Absolutely. It's great marketing.
Yeah, because we don't sell. We sell okay with the records, but we sell hell of a lot of T-shirts every time. I think we have, I really don't know, but 10,000 T-shirts or 20,000. I don't really know, but with the logo on, everyone buys the T-shirt. So I think people appreciate the logo, even if it looks like a Totenkopf German Nazi symbol. But
they appreciate
fuck the Nazis, then.
Right?
They appreciate quality.
Yeah. And we actually did this T-shirt. I don't know if you can see this, but we did a Motorhead influence T-shirt with the. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we're trying to reprint that one as well, because we're doing these T-shirts as a homage to our influences. And we actually did a T-shirt looking like a Misfits T-shirts as well. So with the Sid Saints logo in a Misfits logo. So Misfits is a great band. Glenn Danzig is one of the greatest punk singers ever. So
Well, maybe if you've got a show coming up, you know, people get into that horror punk and stuff like that. I mean, you can listen to Misfits year round, but I know that some of their stuff gets a little bit more popular around Halloween. Do you guys have Halloween? I don't know if that's just
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
then
And
yeah,
now
Halloween's
we
coming
have,
up.
yeah, we for like 10 years ago we didn't have Halloween that much, but it's a American
Tradition, yeah.
tradition that has
Yeah.
come in your face right now. So we are we have a lot of Halloween costumes and stuff like that. Yeah,
It's a lot of fun, and
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes unless horror punk's your thing, you know, maybe people don't listen to horror punk, you know, Misfits, but then maybe you get into the big upright bass music, you know, whatever you know, you can pick the band, the Brains, you know, there's so many different bands from all over the world because so many people like it, but it's really fun at that time of year because it feels really thematic to the season. And
Yeah.
you know, along the lines with Misfits, there you go. If you guys have an October show around Halloween, then pull out the City Saints Misfit shirt.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we could try that, but
good idea.
yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We have nothing planned yet, but maybe we will have. In you never know.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys just played a show. Was it back in May or June? You were telling me this this past week. Where were you guys playing? I saw the pictures also for it, but I can't remember where it was.
We have to think.
Yeah. We're old now, so our brain is
A bit
malfunctioning.
slow in the head.
Yes. Malfunctioning.
The last thing we did was in Sweden, but
Was it Byskvaller?
it was a Swedish show, but
It sounds like they're Sweden. I was going to get at, do you have any, or have you, you know, if you've already played recently this year outside of Sweden? When we were talking about Best Artists, you guys are going to be playing a show near Randale Records. I can't remember where, that northwestern area of Germany, Essen, that's it.
we have played many shows in. We played in Poland, we played in Scotland, we played in Germany. So we played many shows abroad this year. So, but
And we're gonna play in our hometown next Friday.
yeah.
So next Saturday. Saturday. So it's always special to play in your own town.
Yeah.
And it builds up a bit of pressure, but we manage because we know that our fans are so enthusiastic. So it will be real fun.
I think it's worse to play in your hometown than playing in Essen or Berlin, or if you know what I mean. Because if you're playing in Berlin, you know, there's a quite of people you know, but in Sweden, in Gothenburg, there are lots of people, you know, that you know about, and so
and then you're probably going to see,
like Gabriel says, it's more pressure, more pressure.
Stressful in a kind of way, because you have to deliver in another way than you have to do in abroad, you know, because you have some friends there and you have some other band we have a lot of bands in Gothenburg, and they might be there and they are looking at you like, okay, perform now. And show us what you got.
You know, when we are playing here, there are people from band you really respect. Bands who have played together for 30, 40 years, and they come and buy a ticket to your show. So of course you get nervous when you see people who you admire in the audience. So of course, it's a great honor to play in this town. And when we played a big sold-out gig in April, we had many people in the audience, you know, from Troublemakers. Chris from Perkele was there.
Yeah.
Lots of people who just came to see us, and it's really great to feel that love, you know, and with people who you admire, but at the same time, it's your friends. So, and you know,
and they are. They can be quite, honest about it, and they don't just suck up to you. They are like, well, if you could do this instead, or
your guitar song was quite, and you were singing quite often.
Yeah. They are honest because you are. We are friends, you know.
Yeah.
So and you know how it is.
Exactly. But when you know when you're playing in a band and you see your heroes in front of you, just like when we played in Watford in England, and I see Charlie Harper just looking at us, then you get a bit nervous, you know. So we have played many shows with our heroes looking at us. So, but we do different things, you know. And if Chris from Perkele are looking at us, and he just comes with advices, and you know, we don't do the same kind of music anymore anyway. So we play rock and roll, and they play some other kind of music, and but we can talk together, and it's fun that we have connected, and they come to our shows, and we don't go to their shows.
I don't see that.
No problems.
No, it's not a problem with people from other bands like Chris from Perkele or
troublemakers or
troublemakers, because it's really about encouraging each other in the end. And we of course, if Angus Young was to see the show, I would be nervous. But I mean, Chris from Perkele or Angus Young is quite different, you know. So it's all depends on who you what you think of the person, you know. And Charlie Harper is a legend, but I don't think that. No disrespect, but I don't think that Charlie Harper can do what I can do. And I can do what Charlie Harper can do. So we are different on a different, you know, categories. So
Sure.
I can't just look at him like a god and not be able to do what I'm usually doing because he is sitting around, you know. Because but Angus is a god to me, so it's that would be difficult.
Now, I think in Gothenburg we have kind of a good community, and we push each other, and we don't have any bad talking. We you know, people doing their thing, and I respect that, and I think all the bands in Gothenburg respect the other bands, and so you know, but if Steve Jones was watching your guitar playing, you have shut your pants.
Yeah. I would have. I would have shut my pants and pissed my pants.
Because he's one of the greatest guitar players in the world, besides Angus. But you know, the sound we have always tried to do. You love Steve Jones much as well as I do, and we love the sound of his guitar, and he plays a Gibson guitar just like Gabriel, and we love. I think we love the same. I think Gabriel loved the same kind of influences and bands like Steve Jones does, because Steve Jones love Faces, and Gabriel also. So. We actually, when we played Germany a long time ago, me and Gabriel, we were out on the town, and we have a sit down with Glenn Matlock from the Pistols, and we just talked about the Faces for 2 hours. We didn't talk any Sex Pistols at all, just the Faces, and this was at the time when Glenn Matlock played bass in the Faces. So it was really. I had to learn how Ron Wood will play the guitars, and it was cool, really cool.
That is cool. Fun to have those conversations. And,
Yeah.
I guess what you do opens up that ability. They appreciate what you do, even though, if you compare yourself to them, you might shit your pants if they're watching, but at the same time, they're there watching because they do enjoy what you do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And if we were a oi band, you wouldn't have those influences, and you haven't had a talk with Glenn Matlock because you don't know about the Faces, because you just know about some other bands. So that's the good thing about Citizens, because we have these. We can have a podcast just about talking about Johnny Winters or whatever, we can talk about everything, not just punk or oi, or because we have so much strong influences in this band. And that's the fun side of it, because we can come to Blackpool and sit down with Charlie Harper and talk about the Rolling Stones, or we can sit backstage at Rebellion and talk with Paul Cook, as we did, and talk about drumming and his favorite drummers. And that's
but I really don't think that we should be intimidated by old bands, because we have something to offer, and we can't just sit back and like think of them as gods, because
No.
we have something to offer as well. So we have to find that balance between looking up to a person and feel your own. You feel your own value as a band, because they were like, some bands came in the right time, and they did maybe one album, and
like the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, like the Sex Pistols, and they are like highly guarded. But we have done some like 7 albums, something like that, and we have managed to do some great songs. So
and make a name of our own.
Yeah. So I don't really believe in just pushing forward, the old ones, because you have to find value in yourself, and I think we are a really good band, and we shouldn't always look back to other bands and just see that they are the gods and stuff like that, because things are progressing, and we are also good,
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing when you are playing in this band, because we have played some shows without Gabriel. We did it with Aurel, as we talked about, and people was asking, "Where's Gabriel? I miss his guitar playing." So we have a sound of our own. We have a guitar sound of our own. We have a voice in this band of our own. So people can hear it's Carl playing the bass, it's Gabriel playing the guitar, and we would like that sound. Just in the old days, when you hear a Rolling Stone song, you hear it's Keith Richards playing that riff, or you can hear it in New York Dolls, it's David Johansen singing, or we try to do that so people hear it City Saints, so I think we have our own sound, and I think we are not ready yet, and in 10 years or 20 years, I think people will still remember us. We are not that old. We are not that old yet, so we are turning 40, so
we are just aging. We're here, but we are aging. So yeah.
But you understand what I'm meaning. So.
Yeah.
Right. And you know that you're doing a good job because you have so many songs. You went down the list of your albums and named so many songs. We have to play this one. We have to play this one. We have to play this one. And that is so few of your songs overall that you're naming, but yet it fills up your whole entire set. So unless you're doing something like you're doing in Sweden next weekend, where you get to play 15 songs and 15 songs, you do a normal set, then you have to leave songs out that you know are good songs that you could play because you just don't have the time. So for that reason right there, I think you can safely say, you know, you're doing a really good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Hope so.
Yeah,
Hope so.
Right.
appreciate it. Yeah.
And I really appreciate what you guys do. It's always such a fun conversation to talk and to really get to hear the stories that you guys are telling. I really appreciate what you do. And just as you were talking about, like if I went and saw you guys play, it'd be my first time. My feedback wouldn't be great. It'd be great for you because I'd be like, oh my gosh, I got to see you guys perform these songs live. I wanted to do it, right? And watching you guys get to play live, but it's not that feedback where all of your peers, because that's really what everybody you name, they're your peers in what you do. They're going to give you that good feedback, not the fanboy feedback that's just
right.
We're super happy, you know. And it's probably the worst feedback to get from the person that's been wanting to see you play and then gets to see you play the first time live. Like if you need a pick me up that day and you need somebody to tell you something really nice, then you know that guy's the guy that you want to hear from. But as you guys were pointing out, you're always looking to make the next best album. And I think most people trying to do things are always trying to be better. You know, like you never just sitting like, we're good enough. We're not going to practice. We'll just show up and play shows. You know, you're going to be the band, and most bands are. They want to practice. They want to do a good job. They're always looking for that improvement. And sometimes it's kind of that blinders on the horse, right? If you're the only one criticizing, you're only seeing what's right here, as opposed to your peers are kind of looking at it and listening to it from that different perspective. And it can give you that perspective that maybe you're not going to be able to see because you're too attached to what you're doing, or you're just not looking at it from the other side. You're not looking at it from my side where I'm watching you play and hearing and so forth. So I think that really is what those people are good for, not specifically that you should worry about their feedback so much. You know what I mean? It's just, it's good to hear from people that aren't going to be me, who's just going to be super happy that I got to see you play. And I'm going to tell you how fantastic you were.
But when we are doing records, we always try to play the songs for people we love and people we respect. So when we have done demos and things like that, we will play them to Arild, you know, and we will play them to people. We will play them. Some people will always get to hear, but we will always listen to what
other people say.
Yeah,
that we respect, you know.
Yeah.
And they can come with criticism, and we will take them for what it is.
Yeah.
And that's important to us to get this honorable criticism.
Yeah. And we had some fights, not big fights, but we have some fights in the studio, and not fights, but I know
just fist fights.
Yeah, yes. But you know, when I hear I know what Gabriel can do, and he does a really good guitar solo. And I think say to Gabriel, try one more time. I tried that one, play you, but you know, I know that Gabriel, he's a master of doing harmonics and things like So sometimes he gets really pissed at me, but it turns out really, really great. But
that is more like pushing. It's a difference between pushing someone and pushing someone in the right directions, and or make.
We don't complain. We don't complain. No,
you sound like shit.
No.
I think you can do better, and it's the same with Stefan singing. I think you can do it one more time, articulate more, or something like that. And it's always just to get the, because we always want to get the best of the
yeah.
songs.
Yes,
So,
yes.
of course, because we are in the same band. So
Yeah.
so of course we want to be heading the same way, and then it's very important to push others in the right directions, I think.
You know, on the first albums, I think when you do your first album, you was only thinking of yourself. I must sound good. I'm the star. My guitar, my drums, my bass guitar, my vocals,
My harmonica.
my harmonica. But then when you do album number 2 or album number 3, you start thinking about the whole band. And I think that's why I started producing the albums, because I was actually listening. I love Gabriel's guitar playing. I love his guitar sound. And that's why you can't have 4 guys in the studio. The guitar will sound like this, the drums. Because the drummer will always have his drums here. The guitar player, my guitar, you can't hear my guitar, blah, blah, blah. So you start listening to the other guys in the band. And I think we actually do that. I think we do that quite good in the band, listening to each other and push each other to sound the best you possible can. So
yeah, it's a quite of how you mature as band, I think, because in the beginning, as I said, you listen to your own stuff, and then as you mature, you are listening to the bass, and will this lock into his bass line or different line, and you became a better band, I think, because you were paying attention to other details.
Because the album doesn't sound good if the drums sound awful. You have to have all the band. If you listen to the Misfits album, it's just Glenn Danzig sounding good. I don't think everyone in the band sounds good. But they are classic songs. That's why you like it. But it's you just hear "We are 138," and that's everything you hear. But the guitars and
is it instruments in that one?
Have you ever heard the bass guitar? Have you ever heard the bass guitar in Misfits? I don't think so.
No.
So we want everyone to hear you. You know, we like when you listen to the old bands, you can mention all the musicians in the bands.
Yeah, the instruments. You can hear them.
But I talk about the names of the people in the band. You don't do this nowadays. But when you hear Queen, you can mention all the players in Queen. In Rolling Stones, you can mention. In AC/DC, you can mention all the players. In Slade, you can mention, it's not a Holder, blah, blah, blah. And we want that kind of, it's Gabriel on guitar, it's Carl on bass guitar, it's Robin on drums. And that...
it should be a specific sound, right?
Yeah.
Individual.
And also in Sex Pistols, you know all the names: Steve Jones, John Lydon, Glenn Matlock. No, not Sid Vicious, because he didn't play on the album. But Steve, Paul, and John.
People seem to know him, though.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about? In the old days, everyone know all the players. But nowadays, I don't think you can mention all the players in a band, and I think that is sad, really sad. Do you know the bass player in Green Day? I know him, but
I was thinking there's Billy Joe and there's Trey, and then there's my mind's drawn a blank. But you're right.
And we want back to that one because I think it's cool when you have a whole band. A whole band is the crew. It's a band against the world, and I love that kind of when the band you go on tour and it's the band just fighting against everything else. And I think it's sad because now we don't have that kind of music anymore. And I think after Ozzy died, who is next? You know, you don't have any. First it was Lemmy, and then it was Ozzy. I don't think you have anyone in his range like Ozzy. We talked about this. I talked with the bass player in Bastardes just the other day about this. Who is the next big, really big idol, or what do you say, that we can
like people who stands out,
Right.
yeah, who we could compare to Ozzy? But you know, Billy Idol you have, but he's not close to Ozzy. Iggy Pop not close to Ozzy.
Right.
We have Keith Richards, and then you know, I know who the next one is, who is just as big as Ozzy, and it's Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
I don't think we have anything bigger than Bruce Springsteen in the world right now after Ozzy.
People would cry when he dies, but but I don't really think he's the. He's a big star, you know, but I think Ozzy meant more to people.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. And but the important question is what happens after that period of time, you know, when Bruce Springsteen is quite old, but the next generation, what do we have? Billy Joel Armstrong.
Billy Joel Armstrong. It's that one. Billy Joel Armstrong.
Joe Armstrong. Yeah, and I rest my case because I didn't quite know his name, but I mean, what do we have for significant rock stars when they have died? That's the big question, and
we leave that to the audience.
Yeah,
come back to PUWW and tell your answers. Who is the next big punk star? I don't think it's
rock star or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any genre of punk that is so big, you know, like metal is more, there's the subgenres of metal, but you just look at Ozzy and he's a metal guy and nobody really equates him to some specific type of metal. But most punk bands and most of those punk bands that we're talking about are probably in some form of a genre, right? And so not everybody's really as into them. Like if you were into metal, you were probably into Ozzy. If you're into hard rock, metalish, you know, blues rock, you're into AC/DC. You know, there's those couple bands, but then there's some that aren't that way. And I don't know what it is with punk.
We have John Lydon, but at the same time, he's, you know, everyone seems to hate him. But I don't hate him. He can do whatever he wants. He's still the biggest influence for me. So I think John Lydon is the biggest in punk right now for me. So I'm born in the 70s. Gabriel is born in the 70s. And, you know, I don't think we will ever see this kind of rock stars and or sometimes people that we really look up to. And I don't know how old you are, but you are maybe born in the early 80s or 70s?
Close. I was born 1 week in the 70s. I was born with in 1979, the very last week in 1979.
Yeah.
Great. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, we they don't make them like that anymore. So I don't think it's anything to talk about, but we have Iggy left, we have Keith Richards left, and
I think Keith Richards is going to live forever, isn't he?
But
I think you're right. It's hard to say, and we've changed in the last decade or so of how music and people are looked at, and maybe even popular styles of music. I think in the 70s it was obviously rock, but you know, you had your other things that were pretty popular, and it was pretty diverse. In the 80s you had a varieties of rock and metal and new wave and the stuff that was pop music then. And I think nowadays, now like really big popular type music is probably just pop music at this point. I mean, for sure metal and stuff like that, but not in the same realm that I think you have with the pop music. And I think that music is just consumed differently than it used to be. Before, you had to go to the record store, you had to hear about it, and so you kind of had more attachments to the bands and the music and how you listened and going and seeing it live. And now we've got these things in front of us that I'm going to watch your 30 seconds of a live thing, and then next one and next one and then next one, you know, and you're not really building those attachments like we used to with the music that we like.
Because I went to AC/DC 1 week ago. They played a sold-out gig in Gothenburg. I think it was 65,000 in the audience. But also we had Ed Sheeran playing 3 days in a row at the same venue with just an acoustic guitar. And I don't understand it at all. Who the fuck is Ed Sheeran? Who is he? I really don't know. But we have AC/DC, the greatest rock and roll band in the world.
Amen.
And playing 2 sold-out shows, but Ed Sheeran playing 3 days in a row. So
a bit confused, right?
Yeah, really confused.
Yeah. What's happening?
What's happening with the world?
Tell us,
right?
Tell us. Please tell us.
I wish I knew. I know Ed Sheeran does music, and I would recognize a picture of him just because he's pop culture person, right? But I wouldn't recognize his music. Like if his music came on, I couldn't tell you it was his.
No. But you know, it's 3 sold-out shows. It's really
frustrating.
No,
because you weren't there. you wanted a ticket. You know.
I guess. So, to be honest, I don't really know why it is. You know, I think of it from the perspective of, all right, when I like a band, like I like the band, I think a lot of other people like a band. And then sometimes you go to a show, you know, in Salt Lake, it might be different, a smaller city compared to some of the other really bigger cities, right? But I go to a show where there's bands I really like, and there's like 50 people or 100 people. And I'm like, 50, 100 people, where's everybody else at? This is a really good band. What's going on? And then you hear about stadium shows for other people, other bands, right? And so I think, how does this work? I've heard Taylor Swift is a good example. I mean, probably one of the biggest performers on the planet at this point, right? And I've heard Taylor Swift songs. They're good for what they are. You know, it's not my style, so I'm not going to bag on it and be like, oh, it's shitty. It's just, it's not my thing. It might be really good for whatever it is, but I'm thinking, all right, I've heard that and it's not my thing. And I kind of figure, like, how's there so many people? She's probably selling out shows similar to how Ed Sheeran is selling out shows, right? But then I'm thinking, all these people in these audiences, have they heard these other bands? Is it work the other side, where do they know what they're missing? Like I've heard it and I just don't get it.
I don't think they like music, because people who enjoy these artists just hear them on the radio and then, that's what we're going to listen to, because we have these influencers are the worst kind of people, you know,
right?
They tell you to drink this kind of beer or this kind of beer, and the young kids just, that sounds good. Listen to Taylor Swift. You know, they are some great artists.
They're brainwashed, you mean?
Yeah, brainwashed. And there are really great artists, new artists like Lady Gaga. I think she is really cool. You know, she's doing her thing, and I really love her for doing that. You know, she was on that Rolling Stone song, and that song is the best Stone songs ever.
She's a talent.
Yeah, she's a really talent. So I really don't know, but I think you don't listen to music in the same way that we did 25 years ago. That's a big problem, because when you bought a record in 1989 or 1995, or, you know, and you go home, you listen to the records,
You see the sleeve.
yeah, you watching the lyrics, and you just,
and just comment.
No, but you understand what I mean. You listen to the new. I remember when I heard a Black Album, you know, it was really good, but
it was exciting to
exciting
to buy the album and get it home, and look at the lyrics and
explore new music.
Yeah.
But I don't think the kids today explore new music. They listen to what the influencers say is good, and that is bullshit. Yeah. So.
And it's not just the influencers' fault. I think I am appalled by the radio channels that are just playing the same music, the same 10 songs, like.
It's the same. It's the same when you listen to the rock channels. The rock channels are playing 10 songs. They're playing Sweet Child of Mine, Back in Black,
Living on a Prayer,
Enter Sandman, eller as they call it, Enter the Sandman. And you know what I mean? Yeah. Not just the same fucking rock and roll songs.
Yeah, and in between is commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And I don't want to Red Bull or stuff like that. Fuck that.
Yeah. But let's not talk about new music. No. And
let's get into old music.
We're talking about City Saints now. We are City Saints from Gothenburg, Sweden.
We play old punk rock and roll. Yes. So just cut the other crap out, and we just do this.
Yes.
So
cheers to you.
Cheers to you from City Saints, playing good old rock and roll.
All right. I've taken up a lot of your time. I really appreciate it. The conversation's great. And I wish I could solve that problem that we were just discussing that I'm not going to spend any more time on, because it just is mind boggling to me. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Please solve it.
Right. I'm working on it. I got too many other interests, though. I'm like a ADD when it comes to all the ideas. Is there anything that we haven't covered about City Saints and what you guys are up to?
I don't think so. I think you have managed to. We have talked about everything in the past as well. So
we get it all covered, I think.
You next year is 10 years for Guns of Gothenburg, and then in 2027, that's year 15, and you have 15 years as a band. And you'll have potentially a new album, because it sounds like you guys have enough music that you just need to direct the focus there once your focus has been in the other areas.
Albums. We don't know.
We just need 15 more songs. So otherwise we are there.
Your next album in year 15, is it going to be still Kicking Ass for the Working Class, or is it going to be called Kicking Ass for the Working Class 15 years now? Something like that?
I really don't know, but for me, the sound of punk and roll was the ultimate sound for City Saints. I really like the sound of that English side of that album. So for me, I hope it will go further on that sound of that album and have the greatest songs we could ever written, and have that on an album. And we don't know, but let's see what happens.
Well, you have the ambition, you have the drive, you have the attitude that's directing you that way. So
I can guarantee is that we have a great album with 15 great songs for you at the 2027. Yeah.
and 15 songs.
Yes.
That's the, I think, I think we will manage. Me and Gabriel, we just go away and lock us into a cabin somewhere in the wood,
cave,
cave in the woods,
Yeah.
and do some drinking and
Some playing and
some playing.
maybe some songwriting as well.
That would be good.
Yeah.
The one last suggestion I have is if you guys do another instrument inclusion, saxophone. I really love the saxophone on punk bands,
okay.
and I think saxophone with rock and roll music is a really good complement. Obviously, it'd be difficult to play live, but just I think it'd be a cool inclusion. Can I play? I wish. That's one I got to figure out.
But don't say this loud, but on the first album, we had saxophone. Carl, the bass player, brought in a saxophone player, and he arranged the saxophone, but we didn't like it. So we
left it out.
We cut it out in the mix, and he was actually very, very angry for us for 10 years about after this.
So we're quite, we don't want to put in a saxophone just like that in the first place, because we are quite humiliated by it.
We're on a thin ice talking about saxophone, because you have Bruce Springsteen saxophones and you have Little Richard saxophones.
Which do you prefer? Little Richards, of course. And if you get Bruce Springsteen saxophones, you're out of business. You're out of business.
Yeah. No, but the Bruce Springsteen saxophones aren't quite rock and roll. For me, I like the saxophones on Good Golly Miss Molly and Long Tall Sally, and these are really great saxophone parts. But I don't think Carl is ready to write saxophone parts for our music yet, but maybe he's now
in 100 years. Yeah.
Your band is not traditionally a saxophone band, right? And so I think it has to be a track.
Trombone.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I think if you have the right song, then it works. And if it's not the right song, then it's like putting the square peg in the round hole. It just doesn't quite work right. And maybe it wasn't intended to be that way. But if it ever comes
you
up,
try to push it through, but it doesn't really.
Right?
Yeah.
But saxophone is a great instrument, and someday we will have a saxophone on the album.
Yeah.
I promise you. I promise you.
Maybe not on our album, but on an album.
When you guys do your split with On the Job, they have one track that features the saxophone. You can cover that one.
Yeah. Perfect.
That one got sorted out.
Right? Yeah, two birds, one stone right there.
Yeah.
Two birds, one stone. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys so much. I definitely look forward to doing this again. And sincerely, I do hope I get to see you guys before too long. I'm hoping to go to Rebellion next year. So hopefully for that 30-year anniversary of Rebellion, hopefully you guys will be performing.
Yeah. Hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure within the next month they're going to start making announcements, and obviously they do for several months. So I'm looking forward to City Saints being one of those announcements. Hopefully,
if you are coming, we are coming.
Excellent.
Yes. That's what I want to see you there.
Right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Right. I agree. Well, thank you for taking all the time that you guys have. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and there's obviously so many different things that we could keep talking about because we've gone on several tangents.
And we have plenty more to go on.
We'll save those for the next time then.
Yeah. But at the same time, thank you so much for putting up our music on your show for all these years. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You guys do a great job, and I love your style. I love your
Yeah.
sound. So I will continue to do that.
Thank you a bunch. Yeah.
Perfect.
See you next time, Dan.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yep.